Oops, sorry, the camera's falling. Hey everyone, it is Friday the 29th of September 2023. Today we're using the Dragons card deck by Diana Cooper. The pack actually, it wasn't the pack I was going to use today, to be fair. It actually has insisted on being used. So we'll have to see what is wanting to be said. If I feel that what I'm saying is not what's wanting to be said, I will consult the book this time. I tend not to go by the book. I go by what Spirit and the universe tell me. And the angels tell me they want saying. But if I do feel that at least for one of the cards, I may be reading from the book of what it means. So, leave that there and we'll see where we go. So, can we please have some cards for today, Friday, the 29th of September? Oh, we're nearly done with September. Can't believe it. They want to... Don't want to stay out. Yeah, hopeful want to stay out. Okay. Any more wanting to stay? Any more wanting to jump? Any more wanting to jump? Last one. Any more? No. Do you know what? I'm going to leave that one up and see if it's wanting to be read at the end, because I don't know. It's telling me it does and it's telling me it doesn't at the same time, if you understand me. So, let's see where we go. What is wanting to be said? The first card is the Rainbow Dragon. You see? I have got my blind open again and the sun is shining directly in, so it's hitting the other side of the camera. So when I'm looking at the image, I have to lean over and make sure it's in line, so that's why I can't fully see because the sun's on it. So, Rainbow Dragon brings leaps of joy that opens new doors. Have trust, rediscover wisdom, expect miracles and accept opportunities. Right. Somebody's sun is rising. Can we see this? Somebody's sun is rising out of the dark clouds. Somebody's been having we've all been having a dark time, but somebody's really been having it dark. Look at all this down here. All this down here. And it's slowly transmuting to the white and the light grey as they're dealing with the issues more and more. And the sun's coming up. The sun is starting to shine its beautiful rays on them for the day and on their life. And the rainbow is to tell you that it's going the right way. Because after a rainstorm and after a storm, the rainbows come out, don't they, to show us that everything's all well and the storm has passed. So the rainbow's out for the storm passing and the sun is rising on people's futures. Somebody's futures are looking very sunny, very bright, very happy. And if you look at all the white cloud around that's going to feed into this darkness and lift it even more, the dragon's wings are painting such beautiful colours. He's looking back on his rainbow. He's so happy, looks, his smile. He's so happy and proud of his rainbow that his wings are leaving. That he's trying to show everybody it's a brighter day and it's all happy and everything's fine and happy. And they can look forward. So as he's saying, the leaps of joy opens new doors. So a lot of people, this sun is a lot of new doors opening for the sun to shine through. We're all having to trust. We had a conversation, this was in a message, don't we, yesterday or the days before, about trust, and that we have to start trusting ourselves. Trusting other people is difficult, but we have to start trusting ourselves and our bodies and what they're trying to tell us. It would help us if we actually trust in spirit and the angels of what it's going to bring. Rediscover wisdom. that's gut feeling wisdom and listening to people. Actually properly listen. Don't just hear, actually listen. Because a lot of people lately aren't listening to the words. They're just hearing, they're not listening and not paying attention to what somebody's actually saying. They're taking the words and running in different directions and thinking all different things, not what a person's actually trying to say to them. And I think some people also, when you try to explain to them, they don't want to hear because they've got that in their head and they're not willing to listen. I think people today, as a human race, we need to listen more. We need to listen to the words that are spoken and actually take them how they're spoken and not imagine that it's something not nice that's being said, because somebody might have difficulty in explaining things. I myself don't always explain things properly, but I try to explain them after and try and make people understand where I was coming from. And it gets to a point that they either listen or they don't for me. But you must, as a race, a human race, we need to start listening to the words actually spoken and the words that we are hearing, because we're not listening properly. We're just cherry picking certain words out, like an algorithm. We're just cherry picking certain words out and running with them words. We're not listening to the whole communication and the whole sentence, which when we think about the whole sentence, we can go on the full thing. It'll be a completely different light that we take things in. I can be guilty as this. It is something that I have to correct in myself as well. And I do my best, and after I'll think, do you know what? They weren't actually saying that. They weren't saying, why don't you just listen a bit more? And I have phoned and messaged people saying, look, I'm sorry, I didn't listen properly. What was it you tried to say? Or because I don't like admitting I'm wrong all the time, I will bring it around in a different way of conversation. Sometimes I'm just straight up, I didn't listen, sorry, what were you trying to say to me? My brain's gone, and a lot of time my brain has gone, but it's not going as much of late, which is quite good, unless you count this morning. That's why this is late. My brain just wasn't working this morning. And what's the other one? Expect miracles and accept opportunities. We're all starting to be blessed with miracles now in the run up to Christmas and after. In the next 6 months, a lot of miracles coming in. We've had one of the readings we've said about the miracles, and people think miracles have to be 50 loaves of bread, like feeding the 5,000, whatever it was, the fable, with just a loaf of bread. It's not that. They're miracles. Like I said before, in that people probably pulled up with a load of other carts, and that's how the miracle was shown. Miracles today are very different, and we've got a view of them of miracles of today, and that's where the wisdom was coming in. If we rediscover wisdom, we will see the miracles, and we can accept the opportunities that these miracles are opening, because our sun is shining on the doors that it's opening, because this sun is really coming up and it's shining bright for people, and new doors are opening for opportunity. What else we got? Omega Dragon. Harness the divine feminine power of creation, intention, hold your vision, birth to higher consciousness. Let me see. There we go. I think that's in. Like I said, I do apologise, I might have to shut the blind actually. But yeah. So it's a beautiful white dragon, and at her heart centre is an egg, but the egg is swirling of the cosmos, of creation power. An Omega is a person who can bring calm where there isn't much. You see it all swirling here. If you read different stories about Omegas, they're the lowest of the low, but at the same time, an Omega is often revered, because an Omega is the one who has their own power source. They bring calmness between people of dominant personalities. The submissive, which is like the Omega, brings the calmness in. they let out these waves of calm. And they put the calmness as divine feminine. Some men can do it as well, but they tend to go on to them about being effeminate and things, which is wrong. Which is wrong. Just because they bring in this calming energy does not make them effeminate at all. So you hold your vision and you give birth to a lighter consciousness. It's bringing in subtle waves, where the Omega Dragon is bringing in more subtle waves of the cosmos. So we can actually sit in our power and calmly in our power. And we can hold our vision longer in meditation. And because we're doing this, it's helping us to do this, that our meditations are better. So we're bringing more light and higher consciousness in, and we're functioning at a higher level. So basically we'll be more or less permanently in the 5th dimension to the 7th, even 9th, depending how far you go. But an Omega Dragon is what's bringing it in. If you look at all the swirls around, all the spirit, and the blue for communication, the red for, sorry, my brain's gone now. The red for grounding, and the pink for healing, and the orange for communication as well, and healing. So all these things are coming in all the colours. And it's all started with the white Omega, which is the chakra, the crown chakra colour. And this is what she will bring in if you allow her. Her gentleness will allow it all to flow through. She's such a gentle person. Can you see how pretty she is? And she's so gentle and very serene looking. And she's like, it's okay, I'm just floating over here, bringing your minds up more, letting the light in, allowing things to flow more gentle and more peaceful. And I think she's what a lot of people want in life at the minute, the calmness and the peacefulness. So if you harness her power, call upon the Omega Dragon, because you can call upon her, same as you can call upon the Rainbow Dragon. You can call upon them all. If you call upon the Omega Dragon while you're meditating, she will help you reach that higher level, because she'll bring this gentleness in. If you're in an area that is very charged and people are arguing and bickering all the time, first ask Archangel Michael to remove all the negativity there, and remember to say thank you and in love and light 3 times. But then also you can call this lady in, and she will also bring a calmness. Once it's all gone, all the negativity's gone, you can call her in and she'll fly around the room and exude the calmness that is needed, and it will hopefully bring the warring factions down. I think we need to send her over to Ukraine, don't we? I think she's one that we should send over to Ukraine for her to try and bring a bit more peace between her and between them in Russia. Because Russia's suffering as much, because I'm not getting into politics, but it's a 2-sided fight. One was innocent, but the Russian people in majority are lied to as well. So, and that's where we'll leave that there, because it is a 2-sided thing when you come to the actual people of the country, not the powers that are running it, the actual people. The Russian people and population are in as much strife as the Ukraine. Their kids are going off, the mums are worried. It's rough all round, it really is. So perhaps if we call upon the Omega Dragon to fly over Russia and over the Ukraine and spread her wings a little bit and calm things, then I think that would be very helpful. But that's as far as I'm going with politics, because I don't discuss that type of thing. So what's the next one? The next one is the Black Dragon. Very protective, this one. This is the protection that we're needing. Black Dragon cocoons you so that your divine potential grows. Meditate, reflect, undergo a metamorphosis. So the main thing throughout all these is meditation. It's probably a message for me that I'm not meditating. I've had to skip a couple of days of meditation. I couldn't settle. So I need to get back into it, to be fair. Now the Black Dragon, if you look, he's shielding the growth You see these little shrubs growing. This is us. This is our higher consciousness growing. This is us growing as people. And it's got a protection dome on it where the magic and the healing can enter, but it's very well protected. He's got his tail curled around protectively. He's shielding it with his wing, look. He's being fully shielded and he's looking down on it to make sure that this is fully protected. Meditate, reflect. We all have to reflect on our lives. We can't go through life without reflection. It keeps us down as who we are. Undergo metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is when we change, isn't it? We all have to change. We have to change our outlooks, our bodies sometimes. Our physical appearance will change. We have to go and metamorphose to come out the other side, where we are more connected to spirit and the universe. We are in a better place mentally. We all have metamorphoses of things that we need to leave behind. We have to leave behind and we can move forward. By undergoing our metamorphosis that he's protecting for us. So we are going to be very protected while we're undergoing this metamorphosis. Very protected. Look at that beautiful little bubble he's got. Archie is protecting us while we undergo our metamorphosis. A lot of people won't recognise that we're going through it until we've reached the other side, and then all of a sudden they're like, you're a bit different, you look different, have you done something different with your hair, or you're acting a bit different. And that's the first they'll notice, those things. They'll be the first things they notice, that you're a bit different. And that's good, because it allows us, some of us are chomping at the bit wanting people to notice while we're undergoing this. Well, I'm undergoing it, can't you tell? You're probably undergoing it very subtle and people aren't aware because they're caught up in their own metamorphoses and they're caught up in their own lives. So if you're one of those that actually notices somebody's making slight changes and alterations, then tell them. Tell them. Say, oh, have you lost a bit of weight? Or, oh, you're seeming a lot calmer these days. Is everything okay? Oh, you're so much happier these days. I was a bit worried for a while. By doing these things and discussing these things with people, they actually feel that, oh, it's working. Oh, it's working. And they feel quite happy about the fact that people have noticed. Some people like to keep it under the shell until it's fully happened and then step out. But then as ego can come in and we're like, no one's noticed. I've made all these changes and no one's noticed. But we have to remember that for a long time we didn't want people to notice. We was happy to keep it quiet. So when we're ready to do our ta-da moment, people aren't always aware of the ta-da. They're that caught up in their own things that it may take them a little while to click onto your ta-da. But when they do, then the comments will come. Hopefully they're all positive. But so we'll leave that one there. And you cocooned.